How are you doing today? This is the place of a father, and my name is Nemi Bassey Ekefre. It is a pleasure always to come and share on some truths about the place of a father. It's a platform where we teach on fatherhood, where we help prepare men to become fathers and to become good fathers. And as usual, I have a guest in the house today. I have a guest in the house today. His name is Mr. Saviour Usang. He is a husband of one wife. Maybe someday I'll get a guest that has 2, 3 wives. That's possible. But for now, I just have a husband of one wife and a father. Welcome to the place of a father.
Thank you so very much. The pleasure is mine.
All right.
Good to be here.
So we'll just be talking generally, and hopefully someone will learn a thing or two, or someone will hear what they know already and it will be reinforced, so we'll just be of help to somebody.
Okay.
Wow, you are a father.
Sure.
Many people just want to become fathers. There is this urge and rush and hurry into becoming a father. It seems like it is now the new certificate. As soon as someone gets married, the next thing is, when are we expecting a child now? Like, how far now? And all of that. But yet, I have also seen some people that have said, we want to give ourselves time. We want to wait 2 years, 3 years, whatever the time frame that they give themselves. There are some people that are deliberate about that and intentional about that. They just want to hold on. But the majority of people are under pressure to become fathers. And I don't know you so much, but I know a little about you, that you waited, there was a time that you wanted to have a child. So it means that you were not among the category of people that intentionally waited. You just wanted to fire on and become a father. So can you share with us how your experience, was at the time when you were waiting to have a child? Our society, unfortunately, puts more pressure on the woman when there is no child. What was your own experience?
So, thanks so very much. Once again, I remain Mr. Saviour Usang, a father, a husband, as you rightly introduced. Yes, my privilege being your guest on this program this afternoon. Becoming a father is every man's aspiration.
Wow.
Every reasonable
man's aspiration.
Yes,
That's every reasonable man's aspiration.
Yes, okay. A reasonable man is a man with responsibilities.
A reasonable man is a man with responsibilities. Okay.
Actually, I am one, and I remember when I got married. I married 2011 to be precise, and 2012 my wife took him. So we were very excited. The atmosphere was filled with joy, euphoria, happiness, expecting for that baby to arrive. But comes in there. Unfortunately, along the line, we lost that baby. We lost that baby 2012. And after that 2012, my sister, it was another 40 years journey. It was as if we embarked on a complete 40 years journey. We waited, counted 1, 2, 3. It was after another good 6 years that the Lord remembered us, and He gave us double portion.
Wow.
They were not twins, but the child God gave us, if you look at him, you will know why I describe him as a gift from God, an angel from heavens down here. During this period, honestly, there was this societal stress. There was pressures from both quarters, equally from my mom, I remember. At the point, my mom suggested that I try outside games.
Wow.
I said, wow. I remember I came from a polygamous family, and I knew what they are suffering. So I made a vow before even going to marriage that because of what my parents suffered, I promised that I will never be a father of marry 1.5 wives if I thought there's anything like that. So with all the
One and a
pressures,
half
persecutions,
wives.
I
Oh,
believed
God.
God. We prayed along with my wife. We stood. And I'm very bold to tell you on this altar, I'll call it an altar because it's an embodiment of an altar, that for 10 years now in marriage, I have never seen another woman. I stick to my wife. I stood by her, and by the grace of God, our baby is 3 years, will be 3 years in exactly 27 days from now. So we waited, and at the appointed time, God answered. So honestly, from the moment God has answered our prayers, we feel a little, in fact, we feel happy. We see the difference between when we were just husband and wife, and now that the house is blessed with children start coming in now. So we are fulfilled now to the glory of God.
So when you were waiting and trusting, you did not put the pressure on your wife. You didn't say, "Oh, I don't know what your situation was," but was there a time where you felt there was nothing wrong with you, like we always hear? There's always nothing wrong with the man, but there's everything wrong with the woman all the time. Was it a medical issue, or was it just something that it just didn't click? And
Sincerely, it wasn't medical because within this period, as humans, we had explored other alternatives.
okay,
We went medical and discovered that everybody
there
was
nothing
okay.
wrong.
It wasn't her fault. It wasn't my fault. So God consoled that there was no medical bad reports. So we're still believing God that God in His time will do it. So I never push any blame on my wife, or neither did I because of that go playing outside games with other women. I never did. I was patient. I gave her 100%.
I want to celebrate you,
Thank you
Mr.
so
Usang, because
yes.
we
Yes.
find the opposite. We find where the woman is blamed. We find where the man says, "I don't have a problem, you are the problem." We find where the man says, "I'm going outside." We find where the man says, "I can't take this anymore, I have to have children." But this is a man, an ordinary man like you and I, that is saying he had challenges. He was encouraged to go out. He was encouraged to try other options. But he said, "No, I am not ready to even do 1.5." And he stayed there, held on, and today he is a father.
Proud father.
A proud father, he
Yes.
says. So you're welcome to the place of a father.
Thank you so very much. Happy to be here.
So how has it been? Now, during the time that you were waiting, did you begin to think of what you will teach your child, what you will do with your child? Because you see, as a father, you are the first teacher. You are the first teacher of your child. Whatever your child will learn in the general society, the child learns from you first. So when they go out there, they now begin to compare notes.
Okay.
This is what I learned from my father, and this is what the society is teaching me. They are able to then, help themselves and guide themselves. Did you prepare certain things in your mind with your wife, or did you just say, "Look, I just want a child"?
No.
Did you prepare for what you will teach your child when your child comes?
I can even say that the number of years waited.
6
waited,
years, you
yes,
said.
was prepared. In fact, we're in the school of learning.
Okay.
We were learning, teaching ourselves so that when the time the child comes, we would impact it on him or her. By the grace of God, yes, we were not accidental parents. We were well prepared.
Yes. He said they were not accidental parents. That is very important. It was not a matter of shoots. It hits anywhere, but we prepare. Now, would you say, sorry, before you continue, would you say your preparation was because you were waiting, or would you have been able, that the first child that came and you lost it, would you have done better or the same with the way you prepared for this child?
Okay. Already, as I said, I learned from my parents' marriage.
You learned, okay?
Their marriage wasn't too palatable to my liking. So when I went into marriage, I decided to create a different opposite direction. But I decided to already have learned my lesson from their marriage.
Wow.
So I came into marriage prepared, and by God's grace, when the children start coming now, already we're prepared. It will interest you to know that as still as juvenile as my child is, we have a template for him. We have projected him. We have, by the grace of God, prepared the roadmap for him of what we want him to be in the future. By the grace of God, God helping us out. We have seen the child. The child is tilting towards that direction. So we pray with him in the early hours. We wake up, we pray. You see him as tender as he is, he can pray very well. We have prepared, we are culturing him, teaching him how to become far better than what we have been already.
Okay. So among the things that you prepared to teach your child,
Yes.
can you mention, like, let's say 2 things? Like, okay, before my child will be born, when my child is born, I'm going to teach my child this, I'm going to teach my child that, because there are many things to teach a child. So how did you decide what would be the first thing or the second thing or the third thing?
The very first thing I had on my mind was honesty. Honesty, yes.
Wow.
My child, as I speak to you now, as tender as he is, whatever he does, if you ask him, he will confess to it.
Why was honesty that important to you?
Because I've seen above, we have much movies where we see little children at tender age developing lies, cheating, playing games as tender as they are. Honesty, and of course, is the best policy. Honesty distinguishes you as a parent or as an individual from every other person. Your honesty gives you the integrity you desire.
Honesty gives you the integrity you desire.
Yes. What people say behind you when you are not there is your integrity and reputation.
Okay.
So a man of integrity and honor is respected anywhere, even if he's not there. Wow. So because of that, I decided to inculcate that virtue in my child. By the grace of God, he is speaking it very, very well.
So this had nothing to do with you being rich or not rich. Okay, let me know the second thing that I said. I wanted to know 2 important things. What's the second thing before I go back to what I brought up?
The first one, as I said, was honesty. And then the second one was teaching him to be able to fend for himself even when I'm not there.
Okay, teaching him to be able to fend for himself.
To be independent from childhood.
Sorry if I'm mistaken. This child is 3 years old right now, right? Yes. So he has to do some chores in the house right now.
But they are not general chores. For example, the traditional brushing of teeth.
Yes.
Check out some children of 5 years.
They are not able. So
that child does that. He can feed himself very well. All sort of food. He can eat by himself and get satisfied without messing the floor. So he eats like a matured man already. Yes, I told you. And he eats very well.
That's the result of preparation before fatherhood.
You may say that.
Wow, I like this.
So he doesn't need to be fed all the time. So he takes responsibility. If he wants to eat, whenever he wants to wee wee, he tells even from the age of 2, Daddy, I want to wee wee, Mommy, I want to wee wee. And you see, he runs to the comfort zone and begin to get himself. So
this 2 things you said: honesty and being able to fend for himself.
See that, yes, with or without me, he should be independent for himself.
And was did the fact that you are very rich or not very rich affect it? We're going to be back. Let's take a very short break, and then we'll find out from Mr. Usang if his decision to teach honesty and the ability to fend for himself was dependent upon the fact that, he's a very wealthy man or he's not a very wealthy man. Like, what led to those decisions? We'll be right back after this very short break. Welcome back from the break. You are watching The Place of a Father, and I have a guest in the house. He's been wonderful. He has shared his experience with us, and I'm trusting that it will help a father. That it doesn't matter how long you are expecting to have a child, if you will just prepare. The key word is in your ability to prepare for the child that is coming, and not just in the material things that you will provide, not just how wealthy you are and everything is fine, but in what you will teach your children when they come. It took him 6 years to have a child, and in that time, he stayed with his wife. Now, we know that there are people that have waited longer, but we're talking with a man just like you and I. In every normal circumstance that had the option, he is coming out from a polygamous family that would have just said, well, I saw my father do this, so why should I wait? But he held on. So it doesn't matter how long you're waiting, just trust that you will have your child someday. But while waiting, please prepare. What will you teach your child? There are so many things to teach your child, but what will be the first 2 or 3 things that you would say are important to you? So before we went on break, he mentioned 2 things that he decided he was going to teach his child. And he said whether it was a male or a female. Yes. It didn't matter whether I was a male or a female. I just wanted a child. Yes. He really wanted to be a father, so he was willing to prepare. And the 2 things he mentioned, he said one was honesty, and the second thing was the ability to fend for himself or herself. Now, I said after the break, we're going to find out, does it matter whether you are rich or poor or middle class to decide to teach your child about honesty? I mean, do the rich men need to teach their children about honesty? Do the rich men need to teach their children about how to fend for themselves when there are estates everywhere? What was it for you that determined?
It might even baffle you to know that about 90% of wealthy men will never bother to teach their children honesty, because most of these percentages I'm talking about never got their wealth.
Please don't go there. Because we have a lot of honest, wealthy people. So let's not go there. Let's not, throw dust on people that we don't know about. Yes. So just go ahead. They've made their money legally. That's all we know. That they are wealthy and they are good to go.
Unlike the Machiavellian theory.
Okay.
That says the end justifies the means. Which most, I would still say it, which most men, wealthy men believed in. For me, I believe that no, the end cannot justify the means. Okay. The beginning, the progression, and how we ended should all be put on the drawing board at the end for one to x-ray and find out how we started and how we ended.
Okay.
Yes, wealth or want does not really play a role when it comes to ability for it to impact your child.
To teach your child honesty and how to fend for. And we're dwelling on these 2 areas now that you taught your children on.
From the Bible, Ephesians says it very clear that when we train up a child in the way of the Lord, they will not depart from that. So first and foremost, I use the Bible. It's the Bible which is my referral point, my reference point.
Okay.
Every morning, doing our devotions. You know what you do as a parent. Even at the age of 1, the children sees and take cognizance of it. So every morning as we do our devotions, we draw emphasis from the scriptures, moving to them that yes, honesty pays. We saw a very clear example, the story of, there are so many stories, but I've always that of Joseph. Joseph had the opportunity of becoming rich overnight, but he refrained and disciplined himself because of the fear of the Lord.
Okay.
So he held it. So I use the Bible as my reference point to teach my children.
Okay.
Because they are 2 now. They are 2, as I thought.
Yeah.
So even before I left the house, they were doing some worship on their own, and before I left, I even prayed and anointed them. 2 of them are playing there. So the knowledge of the Word of God, which I have succeeded in dropping into their hearts, is what is helping us and helping the children.
Okay, so we recognize that different fathers will teach their children different principles and different values per time. Was it based upon your experience? Was it based upon your environment? What led you to decide honesty is more important than excellence, for instance? What made you decide that the ability to fend for yourself is more important than whatever other value you would have taught your child. What was it, an experience that you had? Was it your environment? What was it that led you into taking that decision?
Okay. Still on the place of honesty. Honestly, I am a man of, I may not be as rich as you expect.
You are as rich as you need to be. You're not being compared to anyone.
But
so
one thing you wouldn't take out from me is that of integrity.
Okay.
Whenever that name, Saviour Usang, is mentioned in my workplace, you can take the name to the bank. So I never wanted anything that would contradict that legacy I'm building. I've already built on my name. That's why the same way I try to make sure.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Because I was going to say again that you can't teach who you are not.
You are not, of course. Of course.
It will be very difficult. That's why you find that Father A can teach something different and he's not wrong. Father B can teach something different and he's not wrong. Because you cannot teach who you are not. Because you can't sustain it. You are the example that your child is learning from. So when you begin to teach honesty and the ability to fend for oneself above other values at this early stage, then it means that's what you're practicing, that's what you're living. Because you can't tell your child, hey, be honest, but you know what, don't mind me. I can decide to do whatever I want to do. Do as I say, but not as I do. So that's what I wanted to get out from there, because it's not just to say I want to teach honesty when you can't be honest. You are the example that they are watching, fathers. You see your children want to be like you. Your children are so proud of you that they mimic you. Your children are so proud of you that they want to do exactly what you're doing. So we want to say, please, while waiting to become a father, yes, you are a father already, and you didn't realize that your life was going to be on the table for them to follow and all of that. Well, it is. So you can make some amendments to your way of life right now. You can deliberately choose to live a different kind of lifestyle so that your child will watch you and say, I want to be exactly like my father. There's a story of a man that sent his child out to sell a goat. And that goat was stolen by the father.
The same father?
Yes, by the father. And so the father sends the child to go sell the goats in the markets, on the market day.
The stolen goat.
The stolen goats. So the child goes to the market, and somehow someone outsmarts the child and takes the goats. The child returns home, and the father says, where is the goat? And the son says, the same way the goat came. That is how the goat has gone. And the father was angry with the child, but the mother said, he saw what you did. So we have to find a way as a father. You are the role model that your child is watching. Your life is out there now. If you're not yet a father, this is a good time to begin to work on yourself. A good time, a great time, in fact, to begin to work on yourself. To ask yourself, who do I want my children to follow? Is it this life, or can there be a better one? And I know that you will succeed. This is a man just like you and I. I keep saying it. Mr. Saviour Usang. He has told you that it took him 6 years. He prepared. He said he was going to teach his child honesty. And he did. Because he is already living a life of honesty. What will you teach your child? What are you teaching your child today? What will your child learn from you? If you're thinking about it, please do. Because it will make a world of difference. If you want to know what your children are thinking, call them together. Ask them, what do you think about daddy? What do you think about our life as a family? These children can be very honest. They'll just bring it out and say, and please don't spank them when they tell you what you don't want to hear.
Okay.
Because they'll tell you what the truth is all the time.
They have simple.
Wow, Mr. Usang, thank you so much for coming. We've
Pleasure.
learned a lot from you. And one of the things I want to take out from all you have shared is that every man that finds himself in a situation where he's waiting to have a child should be patient with the wife. Should not blame the wife, should not take another option, should just ensure that he stands by the wife. Is that a good counsel to give to anybody?
Anytime, anywhere, I can give it again.
You can give it again and again and again. Your wife must be lucky to have you.
She is, of course.
She must be lucky to have you. Because indeed, as fathers, we are the first people that our children want to be like. That's very important. Thank you again. Well, we have a tradition in the house.
Okay.
Wow. We have a tradition, and then we have this white box. We call it a white box.
Wow.
You just pick something, anything, and then it's either you read it out or you let me read it out for you, but then you just do what is in there.
Okay.
So please.
I do whatever you ask me to do. Yes, I pick it.
Should I read it or you want to read it?
Go ahead and read.
Okay. Oh, all right. So this one is in Pidgin English, and then you're going to say it in proper English.
Okay. No problem.
It says, "Na person pikin be this." There's a question mark.
Okay.
"Na person pikin be this."
Okay.
So how do you say this in proper English?
Is this somebody's child?
Is this somebody's child? Na person pikin be this.
Yes.
Is this somebody's child? Are you sure?
Person picking be this. Yes. Is this somebody's child? Yes, still stand by that.
Okay.
Somebody's child.
All right. So, our viewers, what do you think? Do you think he got it right? Our social media platforms are on the screen. Let's know what your response will be to this question. Now, person pikin be this. What is your response? What's your interpretation? So we'll know, and we'll let Mr. Usang know if he got it right or if he didn't get it right.
He got it right.
He's so sure he got it right.
Got it.
What's your answer again?
Is this somebody's child?
Is this somebody's child?
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much for watching. I trust that you have gotten something today. No matter what the challenge is, stay true to yourself. Hold on. You will come through.
Amen.
But while waiting to be that father, don't just buy the bed. Don't just buy the food. Don't buy all of that alone. Prepare what to teach your child.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll be on your screen again next time. Have a great day and week ahead. God bless you.